So listen, I'm going to go to the chat room to Pete to see if there's any questions. Has anybody got any blazing questions?
Blazing questions. Yeah, there's a few. I apologise if I ask something that's already been answered.
That's okay.
It's hard to keep up. But first of all, Philip Bloom is in the chat room, and he's offering to shoot your next film digitally.
Shoot my next film, what, as a director?
I guess so. He just says, "Tell Sam I will shoot her next film for her digitally."
Awesome.
Well, that is a result.
That is.
Well, welcome to the chat room, Philip.
Yeah, you have to let me know what it's about first.
Yeah. And, okay, Richard Purvis says, how do you feel about being dropped in at the deep end?
It was a bit scary at times. And like I said before, if I didn't have such a great mentor to turn to with my executive producer, I would have been really lost. Actually, we wouldn't have made it through. Because there were times when I literally didn't know what to do. And, you know, he always had the answers. So, yeah. That was huge. Get yourself a mentor.
Right, okay.
Frisbee asks, were there any developing issues? How and who got the film developed?
We got the film developed at Deluxe, and on the whole it was fairly smooth. I mean, they were really great, and the actual quality of the print and everything that came out, you know, Neg was wonderful. So in that respect, it was fine. Our biggest problem was just the fact that they joined it together wrong, because they got it down for full perth.
Because I guess they'd never done it before. I mean, this is, you know...
yeah, I mean, it's really rare. You can't buy 70mm stock over here. So we had to actually get it shipped in from America. And, you know, just nobody deals with it over this end. So, I mean, it's just really complicated. When you're getting 70mm processed... because we shot on 35, but because it's shot on its side, it means it takes up more space, so that it's actually 65. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So then we get it recorded out to 65 neg, and then you get it printed to a 70mm.
Right.
So
okay.
It's a little more complicated, but we had to get, if you want to know where we got that aspect of it done, we got it done in CFI, which is a Technicolor over in the States.
Right.
Because there's only 4 companies, I think, in the world that can do it.
Right, and I remember you nearly didn't make it because of the ash cloud.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, all the things that we went through in post, all the problems we had, and, you know, it was nearly a bloody volcano that stopped us in the end. But
Crazy.
yeah, no, we fought it, we won.
Any other questions, Pete? Final question.
Final question, Frisbee asks, what was the total budget for pre-post and delivery? How many prints did they have?
Oh, we only did 1 print.
You could only afford
70mm,
one.
yeah. I mean, we're going to get 35 done now, but 35, nothing. It doesn't cost a thing. But the cost for the entire thing, including the IMAX, was 30 grand.
Right.
Excluding the IMAX was 20. Excluding the prints was 10. So it basically went 10 for the shoot, 10 for the prints, 10 for the IMAX.
Right, and you got a very well-renowned artist to create some artwork for your film.
Yeah.
And that created a kind of bizarre funding opportunity in of itself, didn't it?
I know, we were hugely fortunate. I mean, it was something that was never planned in terms of funding. We basically found this artist who, she's from Belgium. She lives in Bruges. And her work is just stunning. Her name's Christine Comyn. Hugely talented and really respected around Europe as well. And we basically just completely fell in love with her work and asked her, you know, if she'd be a part of the film, thinking she'd just turn us down straight away because her pieces are like 20 grand, you know, a painting. And she just fell in love with the project. It's awesome. So she agreed to paint 2 paintings for us and charged us nothing for the cost of making them. Obviously, she retained the rights to the paintings. And we were thrilled. I mean, this was huge enough anyway. So that was fantastic. We went through the shoot and, you know, we used both paintings and we sent them back. And we were struggling for funds in post. And, you know, we were sending out loads of emails to everybody saying, look, if you just know anybody, anywhere we can get money from, it would be, you know, fantastic. And we got a call from her manager saying that they were just so moved by the project and how, you know, it was coming along and, you know, what we were trying to achieve, that they would make a deal with us if we could find people to buy the 2 paintings, then they would give us half the money
Right.
for each of the paintings. And it was just a very, very generous offer. And yeah, we were lucky that we sold one of the paintings.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And the other one is still available if anybody watching
Yeah,
the show.
if anybody wants to buy the other painting, it's stunning.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, we're getting to the end of our chit-chat. I'm going to ask you the last 2 questions that I always ask everybody.
Okay.
First question, what mistakes did you make that you could say to other people, don't make that mistake?
Okay, on the shoot day, if you're shooting film, keep a check on the stock that you're going through. I mean, I did. I kept a check on the stock levels, but my mistake was not to keep a check on the first day of which lengths, reels we were using for which shots. Now, it sounds slightly micromanaging, and you've got to be careful not to step on the camera team's toes on that one. But it caused us massive problems on the Sunday because we got to a point in the day where we shot through all the long reels. We had a long take coming up, and we only had short ends.
Right.
Nothing was long enough to do the scene that we needed.
And of course, a Sunday, no shops are open.
Yeah, Kodak everywhere's closed on a Sunday. So I had to pull out a can of 1,000-foot film from thin air, which worked and it was fine. But that's a huge rarity, and it's a massive ask.
Right.
So you don't ever want to find yourself in that position.
So I guess that's just, that's a combination of experience and forward thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it's the producer's job to keep a check on, how we're looking at film stock, because one of the things is, often shoots overrun, so you use up extra stock, which means you have to buy more. So budgetary-wise, it's completely, important and natural to be checking these things. I just never thought to check the length. And the camera team, operators and all, but forgot the fact that we're shooting twice the speed. You go through the film twice as fast, so the short end, which you think is this long, is actually only this long. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So final question then. What advice would you offer an emerging filmmaker? Can be anything. Life advice, catering advice, film, anything you want.
Do it. Don't just say you're going to do it. Do it. Because that's what makes the difference. And the more you go out and make films, the more you learn, the better you get at it. Get yourself a mentor.
Get yourself a mentor.
God,
Fantastic.
Yeah. Do.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Sam. It's been fabulous to have you in the office.
Thank you for having me here.